So welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris and I'm a gorilla in the wrist. Today we're looking at this Cadisen C7063, clearly a homage to the Bulova Lunar pilot, and asking, is this one Moonshot or are we howling at the moon? Let's get into it. So today we're looking at this Cadisen C8073. It's very clearly an homage to the Bulova Black Lunar Pilot chronograph watch. We'll do a quick run around the watch. So I picked this one up for about £32 on AliExpress, about a month and a half, and I've only just got around to reviewing it. Sorry about that. And comes in 3 different colours. So it comes in the black. It also comes in a blue and white and a blue. And they all look pretty good actually. The finishing, the case finishing, is black PVD all the way around. That includes on the bracelet itself. The bracelet is a faux 3-link oyster style. I have taken it apart to have a look and it's all one-piece links. But it looks good, it feels good, it's not too jangly. We have a butterfly clasp, which seems to work reasonably well. I'm not a big fan because for me the butterfly clasp takes away your ability to micro adjust the watch, and this isn't a light watch. But the finishing is good. Well, as good as you can get on PVD, I guess. On the back of the watch we have a mixture of polished and brushed finishings. The Cadisen logo's on there along with a bit of a spec sheet and the see-through transparent label that I haven't removed yet. Good going here. And in terms of the pushers, you've got chrono pushers at the top and the bottom, fairly plain, and then the Cadisen logo on the PVD crown, which is screw down, as is the case back. But clearly you only get 50 meters of water resistance, presumably because of those pushers are pretty hard to make watertight. In terms of the dial itself, let's just zoom in a little bit so we can take a closer look. So what you have is a pilot watch. So this watch doesn't have a bezel. It has a tachymeter around the inner side of the watch. You've then got a recessed minute track. I'm trying to get you to see this. There's like a recessed minute track all the way around. And that's because the dial is slightly raised. The dial itself, again, it's probably not coming through very well, but it's a sort of very dark grey and it's textured. We have applied stick indices all the way around. Those are truncated or turned sideways at the 3, the 6 and the 9, and we have double batons at the 12. The hands are fairly simple, but quite well loomed fence post hands that go all the way around. The 3 subdials, at the 3 o'clock we've got the 24-hour subdial, and at 6 and 9 we have the chronograph second and minute dials respectively. And we have Cadisen painted onto the dial itself. And that's about it. So let's get into the detailed specifications. So we're going to very quickly run through the specifications for this watch. We have a dial width of 40mm, a very wearable lug-to-lug of 48mm, the lug width a surprising 18mm, and we'll come back to that later, and for a quartz watch a thickness of 12. It has the Seiko VD53 movement in it, weighs a decent 144 grams. Because it's a chrono and those pushers aren't waterproof, it only comes with 50 meters of water resistance. However, it does have a pretty decent flat sapphire crystal that could do with a little more anti-reflective coating. So let's talk about the things that I don't like about this watch. So we'll start off with the butterfly clasp. Now, for me, I just don't like them. I don't like that the ability to wear the watch how I want to wear it has been taken away from me, because this either fits or it doesn't. There's no middle ground. There's no half links either, so whether you get a good fit or not is entirely dependent on luck. In this particular instance, I was lucky and actually it fits reasonably well for me. However, it has come open a couple of times, which is a bit of a concern. I'm concerned if I was throwing a ball or trying to catch a ball maybe, there's every chance that it might fly off your wrist, which is a bit disappointing. The second thing I'm not a big fan of is the black PVD, primarily because in my experience of having seen other black PVDs through our eBay business, used black PVD watches, the PVD tends to rub off, and what you end up with is the metal underneath showing through, which isn't really a good look. So for me, I'm not a big fan of black PVD, although the way it's done at this point in time, it does look perfectly good. The next thing I'm really not a big fan of, the chrono. This seems very, very picky. It's probably a measure of how much this watch has been a surprise to me, actually. But the chrono pushers have almost completely unresponsive. They work fine, but there's no click. There doesn't feeling like it's engaged. You always have to check to make sure it's working, which on this instance it was. Let me just zoom that back. And the final thing that I don't like about this watch is, I know it is quartz, and I don't have a problem with quartz watches. It would have been nice if this one had been a mecha quartz, so that second hand, which is really nicely done, actually ticked 3 or 4 times a second. I don't know whether you can get a version like this of a Seiko movement that does it, but I think for me that just would have been nice. But that's it. I didn't find much wrong with this watch. This one has been a bit of a surprise. In terms of the things that I like, I'll start with the most obvious one, is the price and the specs for that price. So I only paid $32 for this, which seems ridiculous at the time. It's why my expectation was so low. But sapphire crystal, could do with a bit more anti-reflective coating, but sapphire crystal, Seiko movement, nice finishing. Kind of hard to understand how they make any money at these, to be absolutely honest. The next thing, which was an utter surprise to me, is the fact that the bracelet is an 18mm bracelet. In my head, I had assumed it would be 20, as it's a 14mm dial. The 40-20 rule normally applies, and I kind of expected that when you get the proportions wrong, it sticks out. But something about the length of this watch kind of makes it work. I'm not sure why, I don't understand why, but it doesn't look out of balance. So Cadisen witchcraft, possibly? Don't know. But it isn't what I was expecting. The next thing that was a real surprise is that actually the loom isn't terrible. It's not brilliant, but actually, Pagani Design, pay attention, the loom on this isn't bad. I've yet to have an all-nighter with it, so we'll see how it does overnight. But no, pretty decent actually, and it wears really well. I got lucky that it fits with the butterfly clasp, but it does work. Does wear very, very well. Looks good on a big wrist as well. The lug-to-lug at 48mm probably means even small and medium-sized wrists can get away with this. And my understanding of the Homage watch is that one of the gripes about it is just so bloody big. The lug-to-lug on that is sort of 50 plus, but this one isn't, and it works on this. Next thing I really like is just the visibility of it. It seems whatever angle, however you shape it, even as the night goes on, the visibility never changes. You can always read the time. Could do with a bit more anti-reflective coating, but it's just quite impressive. I guess a black dial with anything other than black hands was always going to be pretty visible, but it's quite good. And the final thing is really, it has a reasonable movement in it. Seiko VD53 movement works perfectly well, no problems at all. So this one has been a complete surprise to me. A bit of a sleeper, I would say. So I'm going to try and wrap this one up. So I started off by asking the question, is this watch Moonshot or is it howling at the moon? And I've reached the conclusion that actually this is proper Moonshot stuff. I think they've shot for the moon and hit it quite well. It's not perfect. There are some bits that I don't like, but most of the things that I don't like you could change by taking it off the bracelet and putting it on a black leather. That's almost certainly what I'm going to do with it. So find a decent black leather strap and put it on there, and then I think you've got a really, really good watch actually. For the price, for the no obvious faults with it whatsoever. We're talking about Casio money here. So for me, this is an absolute winner chicken dinner. I'll stick links to it in the description, and it is in a sale, so you can still pick it up for about £32. Really, really good. Cadisen, congratulations, that's 3 on the trot. That's it for today. Quite a quick review. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please feel free to like and subscribe. Comment if you didn't enjoy it. Always great to hear why. Let me know what you think of this watch. It's early Saturday afternoon. Have a fantastic weekend. I look forward to seeing you back soon. Take care everybody. Bye bye.